are now, believe it or not, on day 8 of the Madlanga Commission, even though our anchor that's stationed there, Ayanda Nyathi, feels like it's been longer than 8 days with all of the information that has been given and spoken to. They've been on top of it. I'm talking Ayanda Nyathi and our reporter Canny Maphanga, and we've got them there to give us a recap of some of the proceedings so far. I mean, there have been so many key witnesses, and we're talking about Advocate Elaine, the Director of Public Prosecutions in KwaZulu-Natal, testified that she saw no justification for Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's decision to disband the Politics Killings Task Team. So there's so much that happened. Ayanda, perhaps you want to just give us an update so we can get up to speed with it, because if you're not sitting and watching it for it, word for word, like you guys are, you may get a bit lost. But this is where you come into the equation.
Without a doubt, and we'll do our best to help you to continue connect those dots, Leanne. Yes, it's only been 8 days, but the evidence has been so voluminous that I think you'd be forgiven if you thought we've been here for much longer than that. But the idea, of course, is to help contextualize what we're anticipating as we wait for Dumisani Khumalo, the crime intelligence head, to take to the witness box. His name, of course, has come up in several instances, and in fact, Fani Masemola and Ntantla Mkhwanazi have, at various points of their own statements, deferred to Dumisani Khumalo to help us, I suppose, square some of these circles, as sometimes it feels. But Elaine Harrison was the last person to speak here at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. She, of course, is the KZN DPP, and her role is centered around ensuring that there's the administration of justice in KwaZulu-Natal and sees through to prosecutions. Not only did she say that she would have pushed back against the de-establishment of the Political Killings Task Team, but she mentioned that she found out about that decision via social media whilst she was still on leave. Take a listen.
After everything is said and done, and everything that went into providing the coordinated approach and providing this coordinated team, I would have strongly motivated against the de-establishment. If I had been approached for a comment, I would have.
And why?
Because it showed that it was working. At that time, it was very evident that the team was working well, and to de-establish it would both be counterproductive and also destructive of the vast amounts of work that had gone into shaping the system and the structures that were now working well.
Elaine Harrison there, of course, the KZN DPP. Canny Maphanga is part of our team stationed here at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. And Canny, it was an extraordinary recollection of events, at least from Advocate Harrison's perspective, but continues, I suppose, to paint this picture of there simply being no procedures being followed, apparently, in the disbandment of the PKTT.
Indeed, you have someone who's not within the SAB structures, but plays an important role as the KZN head of prosecutions, that is the KZN DPP Advocate Elaine Harrison, painting a picture where she is not in the know about a critical decision that not only impacts the South African police services, but her ability as the National Prosecuting Authority in the province to address this prevailing problem of political killings in the country. And she tells the Commission in her evidence that had she been consulted, which we now know she wasn't consulted on it because she found out while she was on leave through social media what happened, and then she made significant efforts to contact the ranks according to what she understood to be who she should turn to first, which is Lieutenant General Khwanazi, to find out. And it's quite interesting that she turned to Lieutenant General Khwanazi because she understood it was an operational decision dealing directly with the operations of SABS. She didn't turn to the minister, even though social media was saying that there's this letter coming out from the minister stating that there's a disbandment. She went directly to the KZN Provincial Commissioner because he is responsible for the operations of that team in the province. It said, what is going on? Please provide clarity. Of course, Mkhwanazi can't provide clarity because he too is not in the know about this decision. It's taken without his knowledge at a higher level. When he turns to his national commissioner to find out what is going on, his top cop also can't give him any direction because he too has not signed a letter on such a decision, which is described as drastic before the commission, because it required the disbandment of the PKTT and it required for it to happen immediately.
Yes.
So all of its operations should just cease at that moment, and you're dealing with a team that is dealing with political killings in the province, something that Elaine Harrison has explained is a serious issue in KZN that not only affects that particular province but has the potential to spill over into provinces across the country. So she says that had she been consulted based on what she has and the case numbers speaking for themselves, she would have strongly pushed against the issue of disbanding the PKTT against these alleged reasons that political killings no longer existed, which she disputes through her case numbers as well.
Absolutely, and in fact, of course, those remarks were attributed to the now suspended minister, who apparently, in trying to substantiate that reason to do away with the PKTT, essentially mentioned that there were no political killings after 1994. Several people have pushed back against that, including Advocate Harrison. Listen to her in her own words.
It was suggested in this commission that political killings in fact stopped in 1994. There were no political killings happening in 2019. What would your answer to that suggestion be?
I would say it's incorrect. There were political killings in the year 2019. There was no need to lodge any proceedings. The first step was, let's have a look at these dockets and determine whether or not they had in fact committed the offenses of defeating. And unfortunately, upon reading the dockets, the decisions made by the prosecutors were found to be justified.
All right, once again, Advocate Harrison, who of course is the KZN DPP, she of course is the last person to have taken to the witness box here at the Madlanga Commission. And once again, Canny, a golden thread being drawn here around the effectiveness of the political killings task team. This commission has also heard that in fact it's only once the specialized unit got onto cases surrounding the killing of Sindiso Makaka, for example, which was well after 1994, that there was progress.
Indeed. Advocate Elaine Harrison says that this was a team that was working, that she had given a dedicated prosecutorial team to work directly with PKTT in order to give effect to those multiple cases that need to be resolved regarding political killings. She strongly echoes the same sentiments as high-ranking SAPS officials such as General Masemola and Lieutenant General Ndandla about how critical this team is in light of the fact that we are now approaching 2026 local government elections, and that is usually the circumstances upon which you will see those kind of political killings taking place in the KwaZulu-Natal province. And she states that this is a forewarning that without this team, that this is the kind of risk or consequence or impact that you're dealing with. She also goes on to vindicate the prosecutors that are working on these particular cases. You may remember that Lieutenant General Kwanazi tried to draw the inference that there was some kind of misconduct, alleged misconduct in the withdrawal of cases by prosecutors. She states that upon review, it was found that the reasons were justified behind what the prosecutors chose to do. So that is where she differs and vindicates the prosecutors and the processes. And of course, but in other aspects of the evidence, they're all in agreement that the PKTT is an important part of the fight against crime, and that at the very least, the minister should have consulted and gotten all sides, all inputs before making such a drastic decision.
Without a doubt, and the man who led that specialized team, once again, and Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, is expected in the witness box today. We're going to move firmly right back into the realm of operational issues when he does that, and I have no doubt many of the questions that have arisen over the past 7 days will be posed to him around, I suppose, what kind of consultation, if any, there was before that very controversial decision was ultimately made public.